So I was really trying to figure out whether I really want to do a review of this Raw tonight or not, because on ESPN there was a hell of a basketball game on there between my Iowa State Cyclones and the Oklahoma State Cowboys, which, quite honestly, was a hell of a lot better game than this issue of Monday Night Raw. Let's see. You have Monday Night Raw on the USA Network, or you have a triple overtime game on ESPN. Actually, yeah, I would have. I probably should have watched the whole game, but as it is, I had to try to keep up on my male soap opera, as it were. So I guess I will try to talk about this Raw, but really, why? So we got the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randall Keith Orton out there for a promo, and it's just basically the same old shit you ever hear from a promo of his. It's like he's talking about how he's the best and all this shit, and how he's better than how many times have I beat Daniel Bryan? How many times have I beaten John Cena and Antonio Cesaro and Christian and blah blah blah. So, but then you get the Authority out there, Triple H and stuff are out there, ugh. And you got Triple H trying to do a yes chant for Daniel Bryan because he could be potentially the face of the company. Oh, come on now, Hunter. You know as well that as I do that's not going to happen. But it's one of your shortest promos of all time, and basically it's just setting up your main event for the end of tonight's show. So yippee, we get to see Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan once again. Woo! So then you had a 6-man match to open up the show, match-wise, with The Shield against Rey Mysterio, Big E, and Kofi Kingston. I thought it was funny that they mentioned that this is the 260th day for Dean Ambrose as U.S. champion. Well, he's probably only defended the title 5 times in that span of time, but they said that's the sixth longest reign all time. He's coming up now on Barry Windham, and well, you know what? He's still halfway to Lex Luger's longest title reign of 523 days. But Shield ends up winning this, but they're teasing more dissension between the group as Reigns looks like he was going to go for the spear, and then Ambrose ends up tagging himself in, and he gets the headlock driver. Excuse me. Gets the headlock driver on Big E to get the pin, and yeah, wrong person does the job here. It should have been Rey. WWE basically has no direction for Rey Mysterio, so why not have him do the job here? But then afterwards, you get a little promo up on the Titantron from the Wyatt family because they're going to be fighting each other at the Elimination Chamber. Excuse me. It's kind of the lingering effects of a cold here, but you'd have to think that the Wyatt family will go over at Elimination Chamber, which will further exacerbate the cracks in the Shield. So, but yeah, it's a good way to bring this feud along. I wasn't really going to talk about this Christian versus Jack Swagger match. It was the rematch from Friday Night SmackDown, but I can't really think that they're going to turn Jack Swagger babyface and all this after Zeb Coulter has been smacking him in the face the last couple shows. It's like, God, you can't turn Jack Swagger babyface. Jack Swagger is not a babyface. You can turn Antonio Cesaro, so hopefully, perhaps maybe Cesaro will screw up or something somewhere, and Zeb will smack him across the face a couple times, because that way you can start a slow face turn for Antonio Cesaro. That would seem to be the more logical person to turn babyface out of these two, but of course this is the WWE we're talking about, so. They probably would go ahead and turn Jack Swagger babyface. Alright, because of what happened on last week's Monday Night Raw with Brock Lesnar attacking Goldust and Cody Rhodes during the match between them and the Outlaws, You got a steel cage match this time. And when Vince McMahon said a few weeks ago that there are no babyfaces and no heels in the WWE, well, he wasn't lying, because you would think the New Age Outlaws they're supposed to be the heels on all this, but they're still doing their babyface spiel at the beginning of the matches. So why? Why are they doing that? Trying to get themselves over with the whatever crowd they're in, like in this case they were in Omaha, Nebraska, at the CenturyLink Center. But anyway, you ended up having a big spot in this match. Cody Rhodes going for the big move, the moonsault off the top of the cage. Well, it was too bad it was on the wrong person. It was on the Road Dogg. When Billy Gunn was the legal man in the ring, hits the famouser 1, 2, 3. So I'm thinking hopefully this is gonna further lead to a Cody Rhodes Goldust match at WrestleMania 30, and that would be a very interesting match for me to see. Wow, we got the return of Zack Ryder to television. Woo! And he's taking on the newly single Titus O'Neil, if you will. Well, considering that they're trying to break off Titus O'Neil and maybe give him some sort of a push, I'm in favor of this. I would have liked to have rather seen this as a babyface, but if it means Titus O'Neil is going to get some kind of a push, even as a heel, I'm all for it. But how far they're going to go with this, I really couldn't tell you. But since Titus O'Neil is African American, they're not going to go all the way with it. You just know they're not, because that's not the way the WWE operates, and certainly not Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Well, with it being Black History Month and all, now we're in the month of February. They talked about one of the real pioneering two-sport athletes in the sport of wrestling, and also in football as well. And that was the big cat, Ernie Ladd. All 6'9", 315 pounds of him, and he's a great defensive lineman in the NFL with the San Diego Chargers. And then once his football career got over, and I think he's even doing it in the off seasons, he was wrestling as well, and he only man to be in the AFL Football Hall of Fame and in the WWE Hall of Fame. What a two-sport athlete he was. He's kind of a pioneer for people like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders. So I thought it was a really good segment that they did on him. Okay, then you had this dance-off between Summer Rae, and finally we get to see the official Raw debut of Emma from NXT. Oh, yes, this is my girl right here. Oh, gosh. Well, Santino and Fandango are out there as well, but it's kind of a shame that when you're trying to debut a new character, that it's getting peppered with chants of CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. Oh, wow. I could probably make a short little video about this myself, just about this, but why chant for a guy who quit on you? This should have been about excuse me. This should have been about the debut of Emma. Not chanting for a guy that quit on the company. I mean, really. Although I am glad to see Emma on on Monday Night Raw. I'm hoping I see Paige pretty soon as well. Well, the first singles match since Sheamus' return against Curtis Axel. Brogue kick, game over. Sheamus wins. He's a member of the Breakfast Club, bitches, so you didn't really think he was going to lose to Curtis Axel now, did you? I hope not. So then your 2-hour main event was a Batista promo, which gets interrupted by ADR, and I guess ADR's got kind of a death wish or something, because he's getting right in Batista's face. He attacks him, hits him a few times, and Batista starts to get that upper hand, and ADR slithers away, and I'm guessing, well, Batista will need a tune-up match before his main event match at WrestleMania 30 against probably Randy Orton, so I'm guessing this is just going to be the setup for a match at the Elimination Chamber between Batista and ADR, and it should be a pretty big squash. So then we had another six-man match on this Monday Night Raw. The Wyatts against R-Truth, Xavier Woods, and Ziggler. This actually wasn't that bad of a match. Well, it wasn't quite as good as the match with the Shield earlier on, but the Wyatts win as they should, and Ziggler does the job, and I have no problem with that either. So yeah, that's that was good in itself, and then you got a little promo from the Shield afterwards, and that was pretty good in itself as well. So at least you're getting they're starting to build towards that match at Elimination Chamber, and it should be one of the highlights of the show, I would think. So you get to your main event, which is a match I've seen many, many, many times. Randy Orton against Daniel Bryan. I found it funny at the beginning of the show when Randy Orton's always talking about overcoming the odds, the seemingly impossible odds, in order to hold on to his WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It's like, I just think it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, because since when does the heel ever have to overcome odds? They're the ones that put the odds in front of the babyface. The babyface is supposed to be the one that's overcoming the odds, not the heel. But as far as this match goes, I mean, it was good. I mean, if it was a really good match, then they gave it plenty of time, but Randy Orton ends up losing due to the running knee by Daniel Bryan, and he wins 100% clean and right in the middle of the ring, and he gets the win. But then Kane tried to interfere earlier on in the match, and he ends up choke slamming Daniel Bryan to end the show, and that is it. Kind of don't want to say anticlimactic, but you know what? Daniel Bryan, if you learned anything from this match, is that it's not nice to mess with the Breakfast Club and its other members, because that's how it is run. Well, as far as what I thought about this show really wasn't much to write home about. I mean, basically the only really good part about the show was the main event match between Orton and Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan won clean in the middle of the ring and getting choke slammed to hell for his trouble. But that's what happens when you mess with the Breakfast Club. But also, it was the show for two people to be broken open hard way. Roman Reigns had a nice little cut right below his eye, and Jack Swagger was busted open as well in his match against Christian. But I kind of want to see where this Shield and Wyatt family thing goes on from here. And you just wonder what kind of promos they're going to have right before the Elimination Chamber itself, and where they're going to go with this Titus O'Neil push. Hopefully they can push him a ways. I mean, Titus O'Neil has the potential. He could be a big money player for the WWE if they are so inclined to make him so. But not going to really hold my breath on that. But it'd be kind of nice to see, and I'm really psyched to see my girl Emma in WWE now. But it's kind of funny, we saw no John Felix Anthony Cena tonight, which doesn't break my heart at all. But anyway, I am gone for now, and I'll talk to y'all later.